Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how bad this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done, but the time it hit you, you're not surprised.
Basically ended up happening, all right, was I noticed over the last month to month and a half that Tut's behavior was changing to be very negative and very toxic to people in the stream chat. I noticed he was saying insulting things to people in the stream chat. He was insulting me in sly manner. Like he would say to someone, oh, you know, I contributed, so Phil doesn't need any more help. He doesn't need any kind of contributions because I did a bunch of stuff. And you would notice when he would contribute, he would try to basically kind of hog the spotlight, okay? He would try to basically be like, oh, the stream's all about me. I'm just going to keep gifting subs, and I'm going to keep doing this, and everyone talk to me. It's all about me. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I put up with it because he was being very generous. It was helping out. And, you know, sometimes you got to look at the big picture. And, yeah, was it disrupting that this guy was coming in here and basically trying to make it all about him, a big attention thing about him? Yeah, it was disrupting. And, in fact, I got multiple complaints over the past 2 months about this guy, okay? But I said I'm going to put up with it because, hey, let's, like they say, the lesser of two evils, I guess. Yeah, it's disruptive to the streams, but at least his contributions are helping out and allowing me to keep doing what I do. So I'm not going to look the gift horse in the mouth, right? Well, I just basically kept putting up with it, and then the last few weeks, it just kind of was getting unbearable.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Dspnews, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Galtopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. No tagline. Ladies and gentlemen, first things first, happy Halloween. Today is October 31st, 2018, and I'm bringing you what should be breaking news, and I guess I'll still make it breaking, but I wasn't the first one to break it. That goes to Mighty D as well as Lip on Twitter. And I held off instead of putting this up last night for a very good reason. As you guys see, my special thanks list, and the reason why is these are people who helped me either compile the list or for just being great on their own or just for being super helpful in one way or another. Especially Almighty Tevin, James the Lesser, because James the Lesser is actually letting us use the broadcast of the pre-stream from yesterday from his actual podcast. I will have the link to that down in the description. Please watch it in its entirety. It's a great watch. And Almighty Tevin, who actually streamed last night, and he had some of the pre-stream, as well as he had the shadow pre-stream from last night also, which was just a wealth of information. No one's actually put the pre-stream out yet in its entirety, but people are hoping that maybe Mr. Huffstuffs or someone will. So, oh, by the way, just for some clarification, the shadow pre-stream, by the way, is what I'm calling it, is Phil's second pre-stream at night that is never recorded. And the reason why is because he uses it to basically rail off on people, for the most part. Or he begs more. same shit. But that pre-stream is a bit more interesting, and Phil feels a bit more comfortable speaking his mind rather than during the first pre-stream. He tries to keep that more PG, if you will. Not a children's entertainer, right? Ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing you the Chargeback Saga, which is really just part of the King Tut saga. It's still going. Let me give you guys the timeline. Well, let me tell you what the situation is, actually. So, King Tut recently, and I mean recently, like literally in the last maybe 24, 48 hours, charged back $1,200 and also charged back all of the gifted subs that he had given to Phil over the last 2 months. We're talking about quite a bit of money that's up for grabs right now. Now, he puts out this public statement saying that he does this. Phil obviously is a bit nervous about it and completely banishes King Tut from Goutopia, essentially, and says he wants nothing to do with him, and he's gone, and he's not going to come back, so on and so forth. They're done with him. And then Phil says that, I'm fighting the charges, this, that, and the third. He can't get away with this, and just relegates about all that shit, throwing Tut under the bus, doing all these things. The reason why I waited instead of putting this broadcast out last night and waited till now is because Dave is now claiming that he actually won the dispute, and he's keeping the $1,200, and he's keeping the gifted subs. Now, there's a problem as it pertains to Phil's claim as well as Tut's claim. We're talking about two individuals that aren't exactly the most trustworthy. As far as I know, King Tut hasn't lied to me directly, but he obviously has an agenda. Phil is a massive liar, and he lies to all of us on a daily basis. He doesn't even know what the truth looks like, feels like, or even sounds like anymore. All he knows is lies. But yet again, King Tut has an agenda. Now, some people are looking at what King Tut did, if it comes out to be true, and are looking at, man, he needs to be nominated for Detractor of the Year, or at least be nominated, because this is some 4D chess shit. And as someone so elegantly put on Twitter and on Kiwi Farms, while all of us were playing Chinese checkers, Tut was playing 4D chess. Now, yet again, we all knew Tut had some type of agenda. And it's funny how things end up working out. I said personally that he was going to try to wipe out all of the other pay piggies, make himself solely dependable, and then drop the bomb on Phil. Which leads, proverbial bomb, if you will. And that's where this whole chargeback situation comes about. Ladies and gentlemen, King Tut did something that I didn't really give a lot of forethought in, because I wasn't going to give Phil money to troll him. Instead of trying to go through PayPal to get his money back, he's going through his credit card company directly. Visa, to be more precise. Now, this right here kind of opens up a dilemma, because, or at least for Phil anyway, because if Tut has his account in good standings, if he has a rather healthy line of credit, and if he has a lack of history when it comes to chargebacks or disputes, he could win this. Now, for Phil, he's spinning the lie that, PayPal always has my back, and they know about all the fraudulent behavior that's come upon me over the years, and I'm going to win, and I have won. And Phil has recently shown, and I mean only in the last 8 hours, Phil has shown an actual screen capture, if you will, of one of those statements saying that, to Phil Burnell, your claim has been awarded to you. The problem is, and James the Lesser pointed this out, and I'm pointing it out also when I first saw it, there's no date on that. So who knows when that came from? You want an example? I'll give you one. Any of you guys remember a guy named Mort or Morty? No, not Rick and Morty, but he was a troll that was over there in Phil's chat, probably right around the time I started actually doing these videos, or at least towards the end of last year. And he sent Phil crazy amounts of money in small increments of $2 here, $2 there, up until he was up to about the $150, $200 mark, and they did chargebacks on each and every one of them, which caused Phil to take almost 3 or 4 hours to get all that stuff back. Congratulations, Phil. You know what a work day's like. In any case, Phil said he won all of those chargebacks. Not only that, but there's been other chargebacks that Phil has contended with over the years. Who's to say that screen capture, that screenshot, I'm sorry, it's early, didn't come from there? there's no guarantee it came from Tut. So we have two men who have a lot riding on what's going on right now. For King Tut, not only would he get his money back, but this would be a massive troll win for him. If he is a undercover detractor and this was all just one big scheme on his part, which you'll hear him being praised for that throughout this broadcast, then he's definitely brought in a win. But if he loses this, it's gonna make him look a certain type of way. Now, I've gone at Tut before, especially when he went back to Phil, but and my opinions still don't change. Trolling Phil with money is not a good idea, to be honest with you. And there's plenty of detractors that will tell you that. It's hilarious, but it's not a good idea. Phil's an idiot, and he's a hoe. He's a hoe when it comes to money. He will sell his soul and his ass for it. Proof of this is you've already heard, I think. You should have already heard it in the beginning of this broadcast, before the broadcast even started, where I have a sound clip for you, where Phil says he'll tolerate people if they give him large amounts of money. How is that not a hoe? How is that not a whore? To sell your dignity for money, your self-respect for money, is one of the most degrading things in the world. It's absolutely disgusting. And it just goes to show that what you consider yours isn't. It can belong to anybody if they're willing to pay. Now, being a wrestling fan, of course, most of you guys would say, oh, well, the $1 Million Man, everybody has a price. Well, if that's the case, then Phil's price should have been higher than what it was. Yeah? So let me throw the timeline at you guys really quickly, which means it's not going to be quickly. So King Tut ends up getting... So that's the current situation. There's a dispute still going on who won the case, if anybody has won anything, on who actually got their $1,200 back. Tut says he actually already won, and he's in the right. Dave is now saying that he actually won and he's in the right. And so this is going to be a two-parter, maybe a three-parter. But now let me give you guys the timeline, now that you guys at least know what the situation is. King Tut makes his return back. I've talked about this, we all have. After a week or so, maybe, let's say about a week, he ends up getting into an argument with another pay pig, which leads to him getting timed out for about 10 minutes or so. When he comes back, he basically goes on a small rant, if you guys will, take it as you will, and then he ends up getting permabanned. Based on that permaban, he ends up going ahead and does the chargeback for the $1,200, as well as his gifted subs. Now, let me stop there for a minute. The debate now is, did Dave plan to go ahead and go ahead and permaban him on purpose because he suspected something about Tut, or did Tut try to get himself banned so he could have better leverage to get his money back? But before both of those things, let's talk about Low Tier God, because Low Tier God does fall in this situation. I was asked to do a video on him going over the breakup with his girlfriend and the alleged abuse and whatnot. As soon as I have more material on that, we'll go over it. As it pertains to Low Tier God, though, as you guys know, Low Tier God has been banned from Twitch, and he's still fighting the case on that, as all of you guys might know if you follow Low Tier God close. He's still in the appeal process. Will he get back on there or not? We don't know. What I can tell you, though, is according to Tut, allegedly, I'll say allegedly just to be on the safe side, he did his chargebacks on Low Tier God and actually got all of his money back using the method of going through his Visa credit card company or going through his credit card company in general. He may have used a different card to get his money back through Low Tier God. Now, I think this was after Low Tier God was banned, which, as you guys know, the speculation still is that was Phil who somehow, some way behind the scenes ended up getting Low Tier God banned so he could have King Tut all to himself, only to have some of Phil's pay piggies or his lieutenants go ahead and run Tut off. That's neither here nor there. In any case, if it's true that Low Tier God was the guinea pig for this whole situation, that would give King Tut more credence and a little bit more legitimacy moving forward. Just something to think about. I want to put that out there because Low Tier God is kind of the linchpin in all of this in some way, shape, or form. With that being said, so the chargebacks go on, and the chargebacks go ahead and come about. Let's talk about Swaggins a little bit, because Swaggins apparently took some shots last night at some detractors, and he's going to be one of the head moderators on Phil's stream today, his Halloween stream. Swaggins said, "Where are all those detractors at talking all that hot shit about I'm being replaced and this, that, and the third? I'm the man now. I'm back in position. Ain't no one taking my spot. And if a detractor got something to say about it, come say it." Very cute, Swaggins. Very cute. Here's the problem with that, Swaggins. One, anybody who went over there and said anything to you who was a confirmed detractor, you would have had them banned. Let's be honest. Two, let's talk about the position that you supposedly have secure. It's not secure. It's not secure at all. You can be just as easily replaced as anybody else. You want to know why? Because of something Almighty Tevin pointed out last night when he was laughing about you going through your rants. You're not even in the top 5 yet. You're still fighting to break yourself in there, but you're not even in the top 5 yet as it pertains to pay piggies. You're not even at whale status yet. You're still working your way up. You're still climbing and hoofing your way up mountain. You got a long way to go before you hold any real ground. Or any real value, for that matter. Now, let me actually talk to you for a minute, Swaggins. You of all people, because I've seen some of your conversations on Twitter and whatnot, you don't come across as a stupid individual. So why you follow Phil, I don't know. I don't even really care. What I will say is this. For you to fight for another man's cock like that is a bit disgraceful. Phil doesn't care about you, man. He doesn't give a shit about you. You are just as replaceable as when Tut got there. You were working your way up when Tut got there. I admitted that. I said it. I said that you had put in this work, not nearly the work that Brightside Viking put in, but you put in all that work, and you were trying to make a name for yourself, and you were trying to get yourself into position. And then Tut came in, and you got relegated to bitch status. It's funny how, Tut was never... You said last night that Tut was never a king. But he ended up dethroning your king and relegating him to a queen, and you didn't even get relegated to prince or princess. You just got relegated to a footmaid, if you will. You really became a bottom bitch. Maybe not even worthy of being called a mistress. Now, Swaggins, I might be going a bit rough on you because of that, but let's be honest about the situation. You don't have no value. And you don't hold any value. The reason why for that, at least in Phil's eyes, and sadly, probably in nobody else's, and the reason why is because you let yourself be a sucker. You let yourself defend. You sit here and defend a man day in, day out who don't give a shit about you. Never have, never will. And the thing is in truth, is you've tried to make that stream, at times, a rather entertaining place. And he shitted on you every minute of the day for that. Just like how he shitted on Tut last night, saying that he would come in and he would try to dictate how the chat goes, this, that, and the third. Sounds to me like he was trying to infuse some real positivity over there, and he got shitted on for it. Just like how you tried to, Tut. I mean, not Tut, but Swaggins. How you used to crack jokes and how you used to get conversations started about movies and whatever. Stuff that would be easy for Phil to digest and get into. And you got shitted on for it. So now, for you to sit there and call detractors out and say that you got your little position back, when in truth it could be easily taken from you at any given time, it doesn't necessarily seem worthwhile. So congratulations, Empress. You can have your little crown back if that means so much to you. You can go ahead and sit at Phil's side if that means a lot to you. But know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you will be replaced eventually. Because you have a long way to go until you hit any of the benchmarks that were set before you. You still got a couple of thousand to throw up before you can make that happen. So let me say this to you, Swaggins, with all due respect. If you don't come through with a major amount of money this holiday season, you'll be disposed of next year. Maybe. It depends on who the next troll is going to be. And more importantly than that, Swaggins, because of the level of paranoia that's going to eventually sprout from over there, especially if it's true that Phil lost his counterclaim, how much trust do you really think he's going to have in you? At the end of the day, you're not Brightside Viking. And he'll never have the faith, trust, and dependability in him Well, in you that he used to have in him. You're just a copy. And not even a good one. Instead of being yourself, you're trying to chase other people who succeeded before you. And you're probably going to fail at it. What does that make you? Look at what you've become. Someone who throws all this money out at Phil and you can barely get a look at times. Have some pride, for God's sake. In any case, now that we're done with bitch swaggins, let's go ahead and move on to the end of Phil's rant, and then let's get into the broadcast at hand, because this has gone on long enough. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil has spent basically the end of his beginning pre-stream and the end of all of his shadow stream bitching on Tut. And because he had to get the DSP had to download the newest patch for Black Ops 4, he ended up having to spend an extra 30 minutes, I guess, which is funny with all that business class internet he keeps talking about. He had to spend an extra 30 minutes answering questions. And the more and more he had to answer questions about the situation, the more and more his hatred for Tut came out. And the thing is that hatred comes from somewhere emotional, because that's usually what hate comes from. So when people say, "Oh, you guys are all detractors, and you guys must really hate Phil. What did he do to you?" There's no hate there, because no one's taking this shit really emotionally. But the emotion that Phil showed last night is the precedence, if I had to say, of how much he was really hoping that Tut was going to be there. He really was hoping Tut was going to be his new blanket. Snuggles, if you will. And that didn't happen. And Phil's disappointment was apparent. Very apparent. So now, what's going to happen? What's going to happen moving forward? Because as I addressed the Swaggins just a little while ago, if Phil's paranoia starts to ramp up about every little donation that comes his way, none of you guys will be trusted over there. At all. And now Phil has to choose. Does he chase the money? Or does he value his safety? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to kind of ramble on for however long I've done. I think almost like 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and get into the broadcast at hand. This was brought to us by James the Lesser Express Lane. Like I said, there will more than likely be a part 2 to this and a part 3, but it's still very much part of the King Tut saga. This is merely just an arc within that saga. As you guys know, the Tractor Ball Z continues to move forward. I still like the Tractor Ball Super, but whatever. Praise be almighty. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on at GTG Network and Productions. You guys all know the slogan. It's time to watch me work. The Tractor Ball Z forever. Here we go.
Eventually going to happen. Okay? So, yeah, it is what it is. So we'll see what happens. All right, and we'll go from there. But that's the situation. Tut's gone. Goodbye. Never coming back. And, let's move forward positively, everyone. And any contributions you guys give is much appreciated right now, because I am very uncertain about what's going to happen now because of this whole situation. I just have no clue. Okay? I'm being very honest and transparent with you guys about the whole thing. And we'll see what happens. Okay, moving forward. Fair enough? Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, guys. So, that is it. Now, what I want to do is very briefly just talk about some quick things, and then we're going to get to shout-outs, alright? So, guys, it's the last 2 days of the month, today and tomorrow. That means it's your last chance, number one, if you want to play.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so yet again, this was part 2 of the, I think this was, he labeled it part 2 of the Shills saga, or at least that's what it was supposed to be named. But this is pulled from James the Lesser Express Lane's podcast from yesterday. The link to that will be down in the description. Please watch it in its entirety. It's a great watch. I will also put Mighty D's breaking news video also down in the description. Please watch it. It's very short, but it basically tells the story, at least what led up to all of this, and any other particular links or anything that I feel that is also relevant or that I remember to put in will be down in the description. Also, One more time, Almighty Tevin will be going ahead and streaming the Halloween horror movie video game marathon. It'll be at like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so make whatever adjustments that you need to make, but that's when it's going to be, so you guys can watch it over there, and we'll see what Phil's costume is this year and laugh hysterically. Let's continue. DSP News.
Pledge to my Patreon and get in on this month's perks. You need to pledge within today or tomorrow, okay? Patreon.com/DarksidePhil. I'm not going to go into massive detail about it. You guys know all about the perks, including getting your questions answered on my Q&A show. Getting a private Q&A video made, getting text and verbal thank yous in my videos, etc. You know all about that. Please give it a look. Thanks to anyone who already is a patron. Right now, with what's going on, obviously, pledging to my Patreon would help me tremendously. It just would. I'm just being honest with you. So please consider it. And thanks to everyone who does. All right. So 2 days left, today and tomorrow, to pledge to my Patreon for this month and get in on those perks. Okay. That's number one. Obviously, you guys know if you cheer, sub, or tip during the stream, I'll give you a shout out. And you can have fun Halloween animations if you either do a 50-bit cheer or more, a $5 tip or more, or you subscribe. All that stuff helps. All right. And I already mentioned with subscriptions, some people are hitting their 2-year anniversary, which is pretty cool. So if you want to get in on that, get in on all the cool emotes and everything, please consider subscribing. All right. That's about it. I don't want to go into massive detail about this. Okay. Now let's get to shout outs for those who've contributed. Let's go ahead and give credit where credit is due. First of all, to those who contributed during my time away. Actually, I have to refresh here. Hold on, because it didn't refresh on my Muxy here on my laptop. Those who contributed when I was not even here, I was on my day off and everything. I definitely appreciate that. Okay. So we start off with Golden Colts, who did a 700-bit cheer, and he said that he had seen about those chargebacks on Twitter. Sucks. Stay up, buddy. Thank you very much, Golden Colts, for that cheer. 700 bits. Hardy Buck cheered. He said, I've been away for a while, but glad to be back. How you doing?
Just saw on Twitter, it was blowing up about how he's just throwing Tut under the bus, so I figured, let's start off with this. I already got everything set up for this, so this will be my pre-stream of him bitching about Tut.
I wasn't even involved in the thing. I really wasn't. I had nothing to do with the whole thing going on. So it just sucks that there's always...
Indeed. As you guys heard, that was the epic voice of James Lester. That's who you guys are going to be hearing throughout this video, because this is part of his podcast. And also, another little thing I'd like to point out to you guys, that according to Twitch's TOS, all sales of basically gifted subs, cheers, bits, and all that stuff is allegedly final. So, I mean, that could give some credence to DSP, but at the same time, it's very possible because, King Tut does went through his credit card company directly, that he still may have found a way around that. Obviously, Phil is the master of loopholes for whatever strange reason, whether he dug them or he fell through them. So there might be a workaround, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we'll have to wait and see as the story unfolds. DSP News.
Outside factors dragging down shit when in reality,
you're a piece of shit.
Themselves are positive.
That's the reality.
Everyone has a good time. So, but thank you, Hardy Buck, for the cheer. Hardy Buck cheered again. He says, we want to hear your opinion on the games announced for the PlayStation Classic, Grand Theft Auto, Ridge Racer, Tekken, Siphon Filter, Metal Gear, Rayman, Rainbow Six, Destruction Derby, Resident Evil. The rest are questionable. Your thoughts? I would say out of what you just listed, the original Grand Theft Auto, that's interesting because many people have never played it. With Grand Theft Auto being such a very popular game series, but most people never played the original games and don't even understand how very different those games are from the modern ones. The sandbox 3D open world games versus the top-down pixelated graphics of the original 2 Grand Theft Auto games.
Because they were all...
But see, that's also... Sorry, James. I hope you don't mind. But that's no different than Fallout. The original Fallout was kind of pixelated and whatnot before it turned into what it turned into. It's the evolution of how games moved about. It's just how it is. Yeah, maybe people didn't play the beginning of the games, but as hype goes on for, Grand Theft Auto 3 and 4, shit started to build up. It's just how games go. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of a moot point. I'm not even sure why he even tried to address that. All right, sorry, James.
They didn't have the power for it.
It's very rough now. Tekken 1, I'm surprised they put that on there. I would have put Tekken 2 or 3. Both were on PlayStation 1. And if I remember correctly, Tekken 3 was like a huge graphical jump and a very, very well designed.
Holy shit! The Lions traded Golden Tate to the Eagles for a third round pick. Are you kidding me?
And
what the fuck are you thinking?
Not very good. It wasn't until Tekken 3 that the game really became more of a competitive game. So I don't know why.
Why?
Filter, that's a good one. That's a classic. Metal Gear is obviously a good one. Rayman is a great
Tate's
one.
been one of their best players.
Okay, that makes sense. Destruction Derby, I remember renting. I never owned it, but I rented it, and I remember having some fun playing it, wrecking cars and stuff. And obviously, the original Resident Evil is a no-brainer, too. Like, these are classic PS1 games. I also remember, I think Final Fantasy VII is on there, which is great.
Why would you trade
that was kind
him?
of the quintessential
Fucking
JRPG
morons.
of the time, even though, in my opinion, it wasn't that good. There were many better JRPGs on PS1. Just off the top of my head.
Dude, the old games aren't good.
The
Hey, Cyber.
Suikoden or Suikoden series, I don't know how to pronounce it. I liked that one way more than I liked Final Fantasy VII. Wild Arms as well. I liked Wild Arms.
As it pertains to the PlayStation Classic, whether you guys, think that the games on there are worth the $100 mark, or if you guys rather just wait until the price drops, you guys still have a really great opportunity to pick up the Sega Genesis Mini, or that could be just like a cheap knockoff. But the Nintendo Mini and the Super Nintendo Mini, you can still get those for like a really great price, especially going into the holiday season with the PlayStation 1 coming out. I don't know if I like all the games on there. I think there is better choices, but that's neither here nor there. When the PS2 Mini comes out, if they ever do one, which they will eventually, that should be cool. There should be a bunch of blockbuster games on that. But to be honest with you, instead of getting the PlayStation Classic, wait until the Deluxe comes out, which there will, where the one that has more games on it. They obviously haven't announced it yet, but it's very obvious eventually they'll do it, especially if the sales for the Classic are really good. And just wait for that, and you'll probably find more of the classic games that you actually want on there. And Phil could play those. Those could be some throwback games that he could throw in. But then again, I think on Twitch, if you're streaming over there, or on YouTube, that right there might be an untapped market that might be really cool to jump into. Because some people, much to James Lesser's credit as well as Phil, that people just didn't play a lot of. So it might be an untapped market that people could really get into and get something out of for a little while. I don't know. It's just a thought. DSP News.
Final Fantasy VII. But Final Fantasy VII was the first modernized 3D Final Fantasy game. It received all the hype and hoopla, and everyone ran out. It was a big bestseller, so it is what it is. I don't know whether games are on it. See, if you've never played any of those games, all right? If you've never played any of those games, okay, it's definitely worth the money, okay? But for someone who maybe already has those games, or maybe you even have some of those games, for example, I have Final Fantasy VII already on my PS3.
And your PS4.
PlayStation 1 Classic. So why am I going to run out and buy a PlayStation Classic console when I already have the digital rights to the game? You know what I mean?
He's going to go out and he's going to buy it. But no, he's not going to buy it. Someone else is going to buy it for him.
I don't know. I was kind of hyped for it, and then I realized I can pretty much play all these games anyway. So I'm not super pumped for it anymore. Golden Colts did a 215-bit cheer. Excuse me. He says, "Hope today's streams are great. Thank you, Golden Colts."
I love it.
And Infinite 55 also
like as soon as
500
DSP gets the money from Tut, it goes right into his bank account.
T-Dubs did a 100-bit cheer.
PayPal goes charged back. Charges back from his bank account. Oh wait, he's already spent it.
Five-fingered fillet. Is the game destined to travel east?
I know that he was calling Tut a kid. Like, if Tut's a kid, where the fuck was he getting this thousands upon thousands of dollars?
There you go. Okay. Thank you very much, T-Dubs.
And of course, Swaggins wants to start a flagging campaign against Tut.
All right, so now let's get to everyone's contributions during today's stream.
Hey, Shabana.
So we start off, the first cheer for today was Brantine, who did a 50-bit cheer. He says, "Can't wait for the DSP tries it. I bet you gagged on that monstrosity." So again, for those who didn't hear earlier, during tomorrow's
but I love that you already confirmed he spent all the money.
Marathon. Not only will I be playing a wide variety of horror games, not only will both Kat and I be
and apparently his PayPal account is in the negative until he gets it resolved.
DSP tries it. The nightmare.
Could you imagine if his PayPal account gets suspended? So wait, oh no, God, don't send tips. Don't send tips. It won't go to my bank account. Go right to PayPal instead.
Is that the exasperated cry of a zombie? Or is that my honest feelings about the sandwich? I guess you guys will find out live on stream tomorrow, okay?
I already beat you
the
to the sandwich, and that sandwich is disgusting.
Yes, the entirety of the playthrough, all the...
Actually, let me chime in on that real quick. So yeah, as it pertains to the sandwich, right? Like I said, in my last broadcast, I put a couple of links down in the description. Speaking of what, someone had asked, I don't see DSP's link down there. I'm sorry, I was referring to James the Lesser's. I think James the Lesser calls it James Tries It, but I'm sorry, that's what I was actually referring to. But I put James the Lesser's, Dame Drops, and Report of the Week's food reviews, basically, of that same sandwich, the Nightmare King, in the description of the last video. It's a great watch. But what I've seen so far online is people saying that the sandwich is fine except for the bun. Some people say it has like a chemical type aftertaste. Some people thought that there was avocado mixed in, maybe, and that's what kind of gave it a strange aftertaste, as well as with the dye, the food dye that they put into it. Some people say the bun just didn't hold up. Some people said that the onions gave it a weird type of taste mixed in with the bun. A lot of what I've read is basically revolves around the bun. And I do know, that some other people that I talked to online who have had it before, they said that if they went back and ordered it, they would just ask for it to be on a regular Whopper bun. They don't want the green bun because it seems like it messes it all up. So there you go on that.
Gameplay as well as DSP Tries It will all be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow. So if you can't be here live, you can either check out the gameplay on Dspgaming or the DSP Tries It will be uploaded to the King of Hate Vlogs channel. Okay. Gid, I can't read this name. But anyway, Gid cheered and says, you seem like
my friend's PlayStation account, whatever, isn't working, so I've been trying to help him get it reset and all that, but I think he's giving me the wrong email.
I want to live in a place where
he uses his old one, but he doesn't remember it.
Then again, the way that America's been going, it's not like that can't happen in America either. It's just that we kind of fall into complacency and kind of a feeling of safety in America. And we don't realize that
it's be hilarious when he says, "Don't send me tips, guys, because oops, it will go right to PayPal, not to me." Till the $1,200 gets paid off.
Modern day than it was back then. I don't know if I would want to be a cowboy though. All right, shout out to Eternal Napalm. He did a 50-bit cheer. He says, "Have you heard the latest about Battlefield 5's garbage? EA will now be releasing the game based upon what version you pay for. Higher costing versions released sooner. What a train wreck of a game." Yeah, this isn't the only game to do this. In fact, recently, if I remember correctly, weren't there a bunch of games that did this? Like, wasn't Shadow of the Tomb Raider a situation where if you bought the more expensive version of the game, you would play it early? And wasn't there another game too?
And he's done it multiple times.
Assassin's Creed, didn't they do that too? I think, I mean, don't quote me on this. I think, though, it has been recent where a few games have done this. You buy the more expensive versions and get access a day or two early.
And he did that with State of Decay. But don't point that out, you'll get your ass banned.
Early, and I did it, and I got burnt because I bought the fucking season pass like a moron, and the game sucked ass.
It didn't suck, you sucked at it.
I really got burned on this one because I not only did no one care that I played it early, I'm not going to ever play this game again. I don't care about any season pass content.
So you spent all that extra money for nothing.
So regardless to say, I think that taught me my lesson. I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Well, he did say that no one cared that he was playing it, which that's kind of been the constant trend throughout the year. Be honest with you, that despite what the new release is, no one cares to watch DSP Darkside Phil, or his new name that's going around Dark, to actually watch it. No one cares, and that was gonna happen no matter what.
But yeah, I mean, it's a stupid practice. I mean, we all agree here. It's a stupid practice. Everyone should get the fucking game at the same time. Not pay to play early. Whatever. Anyway, let's continue on. Shout out to Woobeg, who has subscribed for the 24th month in a row. That is 2 straight years of support from Woobeg. Thank you very much, Woobeg. You have earned the Diamond Crown Chat badge. You are in that elite prestigious group, along with only a few of us here, right? So, yeah. Thanks very much for that support, Woobeg. Also, shout out to the DJC, who is subscribed.
Yeah, stop pre-ordering games. Stop spending the extra, $80 on DLC shit. Just for you to go, I don't like the game, so I'm not playing that DLC that I already paid for. It's one thing to go, I'm not buying the DLC. It's another thing to already pay for it. Yeah, I paid the extra $40 for all the DLC, get it ordered early, but I'm not going to play any of it. So you bought the DLC and you didn't play it. What the fuck?
I appreciate that. You're the top tipper for the day. I'll get you up here on the leaderboard. And, you know, the fact of the matter is that...
Feed your dreams? No, that burger is disgusting.
Back in the day, I would get, like, so dejected and just shot. The good news is this happened on Sunday, and I had yesterday off. So it was a good time for me to just kind of unplug.
And I love that. Oh no, I'm going to lose $1,200. Do I stream on my day off to make extra money? To pay off that $1,200 I just lost out on? Or do I take the day off? Yeah, I'm going to take the day off. Proving that he's not in financial dire. He's a fucking liar.
You guys here. And tomorrow we got the Halloween event that I think a lot of people are going to be pumped for and coming by for. So, you know, I'm not going to let it get me down. I'm not. Even though this negative crap happens. The good news is at least... it's over. Like, we're not going to have any more derailing of our streams or anything because of this crap. You know, not going to be putting up with, oh, man, now this guy who wants so much attention is now going to be derailing.
Yeah, because we all got,
no.
Well, we were playing the Black Ops 3
being a fun place again and
Zombies Chronicles Edition at his house. And it's like, all right, well, we're all going to go and get it. So we can sit at home and play instead of us having to drive to his place and all that.
Double X smoke weed.
Right now they're taking the money, but they have 30 to 80 business days, something like that.
For the sub, I appreciate that. Okay. Shout out to Hungry Turkey, who cheers his Philly boy.
Redskins, AP all day.
He's watching right now. No, he's not. He's banned. So if you see that, it's you're seeing a very.
Oh, wait, more. He gets $250 per gifted sub. So 250 times 500.
We'll be watching the stream.
Over 1,000. That would be 1,250.
Not in the stream chat, okay? Crazy Dream cheered and said.
And at one point he had over 1,100 subs.
I have no
so
idea.
you do 1,100 times 250. That's over $2,500.
Okay. Shout out to Hickany, who cheered.
So much fucking money.
If you made the charge with an American Express card, it won't be possible to win against the chargebacks. Amex is very tough to deal with. Well, again, I don't know anything. Don't know anything. It's
the only time he's ever told the truth. I don't know anything.
On PayPal.
So true.
Which is exactly right. It is going to be super hard to go through a credit card company and try to solidify and prove that, hey, these purchases were justified, or on Phil's end, I should say. So Phil's on an uphill climb, and the fact that the dumbass spent the money already, only for the love of greed. It has to be for the love of greed. It's so terrible.
Someone says, oh, you didn't come through with what you promised for what I sent you the money for. It's very easy to win because basically you say, no, this was a tip during a stream and they don't have a leg to stand on. There's no sale here. There's no transaction. I've won every single time. But if this guy's actually claiming fraud against his credit card, which it seems like he is.
Yeah, you won every single time because people try to go through PayPal. No one, as far as I know, has actually gone through their credit card company instead. And that right there is a much harder situation because, ladies and gentlemen, your credit card company wants your business and they will do anything to keep it, especially if you keep your account in good standings. Just saying. God damn it, the editor! I'm doing it! Gosh!
Okay. That's when things get serious. Because that's
ooh, Tuck confirmed he got the money back already.
Now, to what extent he has to prove something, I have no idea. I don't know if he actually has to prove anything with his.
And according to him, gifted subs can be refunded.
And nothing, I got no definitive answer on anything. So apparently it's being taken seriously, which is a good thing. Okay, so I guess we'll see.
He was begging for the ban to access eligibility to get my subs back. Holy shit, let's put this up on screen if I can.
Tekken 3 by far is the best out of the original trilogy.
Oh shit, this is gonna fuck a lot of shit up. I don't care.
Tekken 3 was graphics were massively overhauled. The game engine itself was made very complex and tournament worthy. Tekken 3, well, I actually won a tournament back in the 90s with Paul Phoenix. And the finals, it was me against a
King
Tut player. I had to learn the matchup because I didn't really know the matchup. Back then, you know, playing Tekken in arcades, a lot of the times was a bunch of button mashers and stuff, and you would just hammer fist the fuck out of them. So it was pretty interesting to have to learn on the fly, but I did win that tournament. And that's the trophy that I have. A lot of people say, what's that trophy that we see in your office? That's the Tekken 3 trophy. Pretty funny, right? So anyway, yeah, Tekken 3, really good game. And so I'm happy to hear that's
you have so people can see.
Mr. Shahath Cheers, is there any particular reason you chose not to play the Call of Cthulhu game that's releasing today? Sure. Number one, I'm playing Red Dead 2, which is much more of a priority, much more important than any Call of Cthulhu game. Number two, I'm already amidst of a million other playthroughs. And the fact that I'm playing Red Dead, Dragon Quest, Assassin's Creed, and Blackout on and off, plus Forza Horizon, I don't have time for another game. I just don't. Number three, no one nominated or voted for this game for the Halloween Marathon.
And apparently he's not going through PayPal. Tut's not going through PayPal. Tut's going through his credit card company. And you know his credit card company is going to be wanting all that money back.
Halloween event. The patrons did. That's why when I tell you guys, oh, go check out my Patreon, patreon.com/DarkSidePhil. $5 pledge has so much power. I mean it. If you pledge $5 to my Patreon, you completely, formulate what these events are going to be. There's going to be another Indies event that's going to happen in November. That's all indie games that the patrons determine. See, so this is.
My friend, he doesn't know the password for his email. I was like, dude, if it's going to the junk folder or one of the other folders on Gmail, fuck it, I'll get on.
If people had said, "Oh, Call of Cthulhu," I would have
Mozilla Firefox and try to log on to Gmail through there. It's like, I don't know the password. Then what the hell am I supposed to help you?
Normally, I don't stay the entire time for marathons, so I'm going to try to be here the whole time. Sounds good, Swaggins. Appreciate that very much. Obviously, being a moderator, we're gonna need some help, some support.
Sorry, Sandrock. I'm true. Like I wasn't planning on doing this right away. I was gonna do this live stream today, just not right now. So I'm trying to help my friend with his PlayStation account, trying to get stuff together. Stuff's blowing up on Twitter. I love this. That's why he wanted to be banned, because he gets banned. Then you say, "Hey, I got banned. Give me my gift subs back." That is awesome. So not only will he get the tips and all that he gave through his credit card company.
Tip me $5. It says, loving this playthrough, Phil. There's some cool side quests in the game which
might have to, because he's being entirely unhelpful in this situation.
All right. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled on what's going on in the game.
Wait, you have to keep your eyes peeled before it goes on in the game? You're supposed to do that. It's called playing the fucking game.
Well, first of all, thank you, Gracie Jr., the top cheerer. For those who have not heard about this announcement, this was announced at TwitchCon over the weekend.
This is hilarious.
What is squad stream? What it means is, for example, let's say you're playing a cooperative game. For example, Blackout mode in Black Ops 4.
This is fucking great.
76. Or another game where multiple people who are playing the game may also want to stream their own equal experiences. Twitch is going to have the ability that you can basically tag up to 3 other channels and have a simul stream where on one screen you can see 4 streams at once.
Like, this guy definitely did his research on this to make sure that he wouldn't get boned.
As the main featured stream, but then my teammates are shown up as well on the same screen, so you can see their perspective, what's going on, right? Now, this would have been insanely beneficial back in the day when I did some of my biggest high-priority co-op playthroughs. Could you imagine when I was playing games like Resident Evil 6 or Dead Rising?
Oh, that's a little big.
Or anything. Like, imagine. Can you imagine anything that it could have been?
I was not prepared for this. I just saw that it was blowing up. I'm like, oh, I want to catch this.
Back in the day, what I had to do, I had to set up 2 different cameras in my condo. Like, John would be playing on one TV to the left. I'd be playing on the main TV. And sometimes we even did 3. Or someone else would be playing on a 3rd TV. And we'd have different cameras set up recording those instances. And sometimes I would edit. And
that caught me off guard.
Picture. Other times, like, John would just keep the footage and he would upload it to his own channel on YouTube, his own perspective.
God damn, this is hilarious.
Yeah, Dead Space 3 was
This is fucking great. Like, this guy honestly did his research. He knew that if he went through his credit card, he was going to be able to fuck him over.
I think that those would have been really epic experiences to watch on a stream live and see everyone's different perspective, right? So now this is possible.
Thank you, Shavana.
And not to say that...
There's a Let's Watch Together thing it is that we use when we do our podcast. Which we're planning on doing, I think, on Thursday.
Everything I've seen about that game looks terrible. It does. It looks like another grinding, boring, repetitive fucking game, only made for you to team up with teammates.
It's the card providers that conduct investigation and refund the money. PayPal is nothing but an intermediate. It clearly states that in the rules.
But
I already got the money refunded by Visa. He doesn't have to convey the information to PayPal.
All, on screen at once. That could be pretty neat. Now, honestly, I don't know how that's going to go. And the reason I say that is people right now tell me they have issues with Twitch. They try to watch me on Twitch. They have the bandwidth. They can't handle it. Now imagine trying to have 4 different streams going at once. You see what I mean? I don't know how that's going to go.
Well, so far Tut's gotten back the 1,200 in tips.
For sure. All right, Double G.
But he might be getting those gifted subs back because it was banned. And he did this fucking research perfectly, I guess. Going, oh, if you gift a bunch of subs, then you get banned. You can get those gifted subs back.
They're all great games. I don't
and apparently he's already done it to LGG.
I never played it. All the other ones I've played, and they are great games. So
like he's already done it to LGG, so all that money he gave to LGG is also taken back because LGG himself got banned. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this guy was ready for this. Fucking hilarious.
All right, Hungry Turkey has subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Hungry Turkey. Then he cheered, and he said, I used to be a detractor. Hope you can forgive me. Enjoy my Twitch Prime. Okay. Well, Hungry Turkey, I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. And the bottom line is, I've been hearing more and more people saying this, that they used to hate me or whatever, or be part of the detractor groups. Then they actually started frequenting my streams and realized that they're nothing like what these guys say they are. And
I like that he banned
and having fun with me, and I
the new face of creation.
So
because he hangs out in the detractor chats, dude. But he was always talking about, oh, you can hang out wherever you want, dude.
To Horizon Zero Dawn, heard it here first. All right, that would be pretty good. That would be a good launch title, in my opinion.
This is fucking hilarious.
All right,
God damn, Tut.
Final cheer from me today. Thoughts on Apu getting the sack and boot from The Simpsons? We will all miss him.
Apu wasn't sacked. That was started off by someone who had absolutely nothing to do with the TV show. I talked about this
the other day, and I said, you know, basically, this just shows how messed up our country and our world is becoming.
He didn't get sacked. That was a rumor started by someone who had nothing to do with the show.
Basically, a bunch of sissies.
Yeah, this is fucking
I'm not saying,
great.
certainly, that people cannot address real issues, but The Simpsons has always been a show based on cultural generalizations. Every character on the fucking show is a cultural generalization. If Apu is bad, what about Groundskeeper Willie? The Irish groundskeeper with drinks like crazy and you know what I mean? What's wrong?
That's why Apu's not getting canned because they're yes, that's JW's. Right? But guess what? The show they're not getting rid of Apu for that very reason because they're all
why don't we bring
general characterizations.
It's Apu and he's Indian now. You know, oh, he's back. No, if you actually watch the show, which the problem is, fucking people don't. They just want to be so offended by everything. They don't actually watch the content.
Yeah, the edited footage cuts out all the stupid shit.
Based on people
yeah, he's Scottish, not Irish.
Yes. Could it be offensive if you're incredibly sensitive? Sure. But in general, comedy is about generalizations and observations. If you've listened to comedians like Jerry Seinfeld or Chris Rock recently, they basically said, we can't even do stand-up comedy anymore because our entire routines were based on an era of the 90s when people actually had intelligence in their fucking heads and realized that you could generally observe commonalities about a race, about a group of people, a gender.
Did you know that piranhas can devour a small child down to the bone in less than 30 seconds?
In general, that is kind of fun.
Anyways, I lost my job at the aquarium today, which is why I'm able to do this.
It's not intended to hurt. When you watch The Simpsons and Apu
terrible
is a major focus of an episode, it's not meant to offend Indians. It's meant to just be an observation of something about a certain group of people in the world.
Also, Apu is a very successful businessman who's raising his like 8 kids. Like he's a happy-go-lucky guy. He's having a good time. He's having a good life.
Oh my god, Apu's so offensive. Get the fuck out of here. Apu's been around for almost 30 fucking years, and now in 2018 we decide all of a sudden he's offensive. That's not how life works.
Yay.
So in my opinion,
hilarious.
I 100%.
I was actually already planning on doing a live stream today. I had all this shit set up, and then this happens. Like, oh shit, I'm not ready.
I think that Apu should be removed from the show. And
no momento, go on mute 1 second.
It's a joke, in my opinion. I think that it's a disservice. It would kind of be like saying this. All right, let's put it this way. There are things in the past that were acceptable, and today they're not. So let's pretend like they don't exist. Wait, what? So instead of acknowledging.
All right, back.
And maybe growing. Okay, maybe in the future we won't make another character like that. Because maybe in the modern era we realize people are...
All right, let me jump in because it's been a little while. So as it pertains to, there was stuff that was accepted in the past, but it's not accepted now, so let's forget about it. Phil, that sums up your career, to be honest. As for the Apu situation, we already know that's already been worked out. That was some, because people have already told me about it. That was some random, a lot of you in the comment section, actually, of the last broadcast. That was some random dude who was spurging out about it. Apu's not going anywhere as far as we know. And why would they? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, depending on where you guys live, but there's a bunch of stores around my way, for example, who are Indian-owned stores. And the people are super fucking nice. So what? You know what I'm saying? That's not I wouldn't even call that a stereotype. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? And whatnot. I don't see why that's a big deal. And like I said, however you feel about, because we had this discussion yesterday about cartoons and why people want to go certain ways about it and this, that, and the third. It's just the way society is. Or at least some people anyway. It's not everybody. Because there was a lot of people who were against the whole Simpsons change. And as I said yesterday, I don't think it's going to kill the show, but the show's kind of just getting stale. Also, someone pointed out that they don't even make new episodes of Futurama anymore, which sucks, but I got the reruns, so it's all good for me. But I don't know. It's just a moot point, to be honest with you. I feel like it's all just a distraction anyway from what the bigger picture is. But that's just my opinion. DSP News.
But again, he's not getting banned because he's a beloved character on Simpsons. And
no, you're erasing the past if you do that. You can't.
It's just fucking stupid,
right? It's kind of like, well, we don't want people to know about the past, the horrible things that people have done in the past, slavery and religious crusades.
How did he get to slavery and religious crusades off of Apu being on Simpsons?
No, it's just so.
Also, isn't he supposed to be playing Red Dead Redemption 2 right now?
I give it up, man. It pisses me off. That's ridiculous. In my opinion, there's nothing whatsoever offensive about Apu at all. Oh, by the way, Willie is Scottish, not Irish. I said the wrong thing.
There we go. It was Chad to correct him.
So long since I watched The Simpsons, I said the groundskeeper Willie was Scottish. It was Irish. No, he's Scottish. My bad. Because remember, he wears the kilt sometimes.
Ajit and Wonder Kid. We'll just.
There we go.
But anyway, you see what I mean? Oh my God, Phil said Irish instead of Scottish. That's offensive. You gotta call him
what
out.
the shit? Oh fuck, commercial.
Oh my God.
I went to go watch him on the other thing so I could piss him off.
I think that is it for the pre-stream. I'd like to thank all of you who have.
Damn it! Did it just in time to not be done? Fuck. Ooh, hello.
Let me go ahead and update our sub.
Hey.
Update the sub count.
Make it 3 Ys on that.
Like I said, 4+ more hours of Red Dead today here on the stream. See how it goes. Hope you guys are excited for Red Dead. I am. I've been loving the game, and now we're heading again into a new segment of the story, I believe. Thanks, everyone.
Let's see.
And
will you be playing for 25 hours like that Gears of War developer?
Right?
Ah, fuck, I spelled developer wrong. Yeah,
right, fair enough.
Doesn't matter. He won't notice.
Thank you guys very much.
Oh, hey, you come back.
Here we go. Okay.
Yeah, see, pre-streams forever.
All right, guys. Put my headphones on here. Boot her up.
Wouldn't surprise me if you thought Apu was Native American.
Going here. That Red Dead son.
I know, he has so much life experience being a piece of shit. And we don't really need to watch him play a video game, do we? I'm not that interested in it. Goodbye.
All
you
right.
are done. Oh, hello, ladies. Goddamn.
All right, and for those...
No, you, go away.
Not watch because maybe you're playing the game along yourself.
Go away. I'm done with you. See, that's what happens because, like, all my pictures and images are tied to my keyboard. So when I type something, they pop up. There we go. Gotcha. Oh, shit. 1 second, guys. Let me... Like I said, I was not prepared for that. I just saw that this was blown up on Twitter, and I wanted to get on there real quick. 1 second. Yeah, oh well. Alright, there we go. Should be ready now. Terrible. Hey. Started this live stream a little bit earlier than I was planning on because I was not planning on the whole Tut thing exploding on freaking Twitter and all that. I'm like, wait, what's going on pre-stream? Alright, let's go check it out. Oh wait, I gotta make... I forgot, the first few images are gonna be rather large. That's what she said. So, goodbye to me, goodbye to that. See that so you guys can see this easier. This is from when Tut got banned. He threatened me twice, I left him alone. He went a little overboard with that last comment. We'll see, I'm not sure if he's vying for attention or legitimately upset. But I asked him to whisper me if he needed something, so I did all I could. Everyone must follow the rules, including myself. I was trying to be nice. I pretty much just got here, by the way, so I'm not privy to what he was saying earlier. Guy threatens me, begs to be banned. This is why he was being begged to be banned. Because he gets banned, he can charge back his gifted subs. That is fucking hilarious.
Now, as I said before, I agree with that to an extent. I feel like that in public opinion, it makes it look good if he's banned. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that he needs to be banned to use that as the pretense to go ahead and get his charge back, but it does make him look good from a public standpoint to do so. But that's all just speculation, to say the very least. It's still funny how he played it, how he pulled it all off, though, at the end of the day. If it's successful, I should say.
And oh, you got this huge shit show right here. I'm doing comment, spamming the, let's see, the emotes, yeah. If you spam emotes, you can get banned for that. And of course, it's attacking everyone, like, what the shit? But now we know why he was doing all this. Now we know why he was saying this. Because he was trying to get banned. He was shitting on someone donating $150 to Phil. Like, he wanted this. He was planning this from the get-go. So he could fuck DSP over. Like, dude, this is fucking hilarious. Like, he had this set up so well that he knew what he was doing. Tut. And I was like, oh, he's spending all this money. He's spending all this money. But if he's right about the gifted subs being charged back because he got banned, he won't be out anything. Well, his own subs. So he'll be out $15. Oh, well over 1,000. 1,200 just from the tips. The gifted subs, there's another, no, $1,500. The bits, I don't know if he'll be able to get those back. Because he has the huge bit badges and all that, but god damn. And DSP's already said he's already spent the money. He spent the money before it cleared. He went out and spent $1,200 on what? That he won't tell you. Bills, dude.
But yet again, that poses the argument. What bill did he have for $1,200 laying around that King Tut unexpectedly donates that exact amount to, and then he immediately pulls it out and starts paying bills? I think Phil does that as a precautionary measure, just in case someone does chargebacks on him. If that is the case, it's possible that's what he does. And that might be a reason why he keeps pushing for it. Oh, go ahead and send this money to me right away because I get it right to my PayPal and I can transfer it right out. Maybe he does that as a way of protecting himself from, false cheers and things like that. But if that is the case, it bit him in the ass on this one. And maybe, just maybe, King Tut knew that. Maybe King Tut's like, okay, maybe he's doing this so he can get the money right away because then he thinks he's safe. But if someone uses their credit card, if someone gets the chargeback going through their credit card company and not PayPal, they may have a way of screwing them over. Every system has its loopholes and has its its limitations, and maybe this is it. We'll see.
Exactly, Phileas. Margarita, you guys, this is fucking hilarious. Like, this came... Everyone's like, holy shit, where did you find these pay pigs? Well, apparently this wasn't a pay pig. This is a guy, like, he planned this out perfectly. That he's like, alright, give money this way, give money that way, and then... Bam! Take it all back. Take it back, way back. God damn, this is hilarious. Yes, $150 from an anonymous asshole that you don't recognize. Well, stop the bullshit, Phil. Like, God damn, this is fucking hilarious. Oh shit, what's going on here? There we go. Yeah, staycation. Well, that was $1,400 just for the hotel. This is fucking hilarious. Like, goddamn, Tut. Ha. I'm so white, I came in line dance, and that's dancing invented for white people to make them feel like they have rhythm. Oh, sadly, I have terrible news. A contributor who has been a suspect in the last few months for being so overly generous is attempting to charge back over $1,200 in tips. So if he was so suspect, why did you spend the money? Why did you go, I think this guy's a scammer. I'm going to spend the money as soon as I get it. Oh, because DSP is a dumbass. Sorry, guys. This is fraud, plain and simple, so let's hope PayPal sees it that way. But it's not going through PayPal, it's going through the guy's credit card company. Let the guy research this enough to go, fuck PayPal. We're going through my credit card company. Credit card company doesn't want to spend money on this shit. They'll give it back to me. Problem is, it's totally out of my hands despite having tons of evidence proving those tips are completely legit. Whatever PayPal says goes. No.
And see, that's the problem. Phil is so dependent on PayPal. And so he's going to only do the bare minimum as it pertains to evidence and presenting his argument to PayPal that, hey, go after him because these people all troll me. That PayPal is going to look at that and be like, this isn't going to hold up against Visa or any credit card company. American Express would shoot this shit out the water. It's not going to hold up. And Phil is looking, yet again, at a small portion of what the big picture is. He doesn't realize that what you did wasn't enough. And if PayPal kicks it back to you, you can't sit there and be like, no, you have to push this through because they're trolls and everybody hates me and everybody's trying to get me. They don't want to hear that. Now they just want to hear, Phil, we need the $1,200 back. We've already given the individual his money back. We need the $1,200. And either Phil comes up with it or he don't. Now, I don't know if they would ask for the money right away. They might. Or they may give him 30, 60, or 90 days. But in the worst case scenario, Phil's going to have to come up with that $1,200. Plus the gifted subs if King Tut was able to get that back. It's quite a bit of money, man. And he better have a real plan about this. And if he thinks just spending the money beforehand is going to save him, it really won't help him now because now everybody knows what Phil's plot is. You see what I'm saying when it comes down to the big picture? This right here exposed how Phil's practices are. And he can't change because he's been doing it for too long. Sadly, he just still doesn't see it. DSP News.
Whatever Visa says goes. This is fucking hilarious. If these tips are reversed, I am effectively $1,200 in the hole. And then some. I don't really know what's going to happen. All my funds are going to bills currently. No, they're not. You just said you had an amazing day off with a girlfriend yesterday where you went out and spent more money. Every day off, you go out and you spend more money. You buy $250 Dyson fans. You buy 4K TVs. You buy PS4 Pros that you don't fucking need because you don't have a 4K capture card. Exactly. Yes. The Red Foreman meme would be perfect. Hello, Mr. Views. I know you don't want to be Mr. Views, right? The Void. This is fucking... this is great. Like, this is one hell of a way to wake up to. This is going to be great. That Visa is going to be the one. Not PayPal. It's going to be Visa. So he can whine and cry as much as he wants. It's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen. Like, no, I was planning, like, I had all this shit lined up, ready to go. But then it got better. This is why I love following DSP. He is such comedy gold. He went out and he spent the $1,200 before it ever cleared. He went out and spent all this money that he got before he actually had the money. Now this happens out of nowhere. I won one from the best, but admittedly this is very worrisome. Mister, I've won every single chargeback claim. Except they were probably charging back through PayPal, not through Visa. Unlike previous years when I would see a huge boost in YouTube revenue around this time, I haven't seen it at all this year. So I'm effectively treading water with someone about to pull the boat out from under me, when in fact I've done nothing wrong. You've done so many things wrong.
Eventually gonna happen, okay? So...
Alright guys, so that's the end of that. Thank you yet again to James the Lesser for providing us with that sweet footage. It's the thing is, it's not over yet. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to ask you the question. Who do you side with on this? Who do you believe actually won and who didn't? Like, that's one of the big, at least for me anyway, that was one of the big issues that I kind of have with this circumstance, is you don't really know who you can trust. Like I said, both of them have their own agenda, both of them have their own plots, if you will, as it pertains to the situation. You don't know who's telling the truth and who isn't. Like I said, we all know Phil's a liar, but what's Tut's angle? And I mean, not everybody can see the future. At least not everybody can see all of it. So there you go with the situation. Like I said, there'll probably be a part 2 to this. I don't know when, but it'll happen sooner than later. Thank you to everybody who kind of helped bring this all together. And it's a little bit shorter of a video, but thank goodness, I guess, because I'm supposed to have a larger Halloween video planned for you guys. Hopefully that'll come out later on this evening, because I want it to come out on Halloween. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. And this is DSP News, always late, never breaking. Unreliable coverage that you can't count on. A GTG Network and Productions. This is amazing. Who knows how this is all going to work out? I am your host / anchor GTG, and I'm signing off. Have a happy Halloween, guys. End of broadcast.
Buoy, Beta, Bikini, Bugatti, Bentley, B Squad.
Yeah, that's what you get when you fuck with the king of hate, bitch. Fuck you.